Peace and Black Power family. I want to welcome everybody to another NCRBGZ production. Um, with today, we have a special treat for the family. We have somebody from the Dinka Tribe that actually, is from Sudan. So her name is Aluk. I'm gonna give her the opportunity to introduce herself to the family, and then we're gonna just have an interview and ask some questions so she can enlighten y'all on some of the traditional things and some of the traditional teachings of the people of Sudan. A look is on you.
Oh, thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Alok. I'm from Sudan, originally Dinka. Um, I was born in Sudan, but raised in Carolina. Went to North Carolina A&T, HBCU, all day. I
All right. Thanks for look. That's good. Just wanted you to introduce yourself to the family. So what I want
Okay.
to do is, since I have you on the show, it's a good thing to speak to someone who actually, is from the area and have been taught some of the lessons and some of the original teachings of that area. Because a lot of times people say things, but there's no merit behind it. So it's kind of better when we can actually sit down and talk to people who, actually walk the walk, talk the talk. So with that being said,
Right.
I have a list of questions that I want to ask you. And I just want to ask you a couple questions to kind of like walk us through this journey of, how you got here and, what was some of the difficulties you faced when growing up? I know when you told me, a little bit earlier that when you was growing up, you was wondering why, the African Americans, then for say like the Africans on the continent, and then the Africans, then for say like the Americans. So can you get into that a little bit? Talk about, you're growing up and some of the difficulties and some of the reasons why you feel like there's a disconnect between us in America and those on the continent.
I think if I would start with religion because it's base of everything. Um, I remember growing up and going to church and seeing the difference, the spirit, like even going to church in my home country and here it's even in Egypt. It's different. I have always asked myself, why are my people so spiritual? Like, why are they so forgiving? Like with all the stuff that happened to them, but my connection wasn't actually thinking about, oh, because I'm young. Remember that. So and I'm learning because elders don't give us no lessons except, oh, your dad was a great man and people love him, but that's not enough. Like, you're not giving me my background. So it started. I started becoming curious and like wanted to know more. And I remember when I was young, when I first came to America, I walked, and this was in Greensboro. I walked from it was from Merritt Drive all the way to Friendly Shopping Center at Arab Church because I wasn't so familiar yet with American society, so I could understand the Arab more because they understand. I mean, like, I knew English, so and I seen the difference even with Arab church, and then I came to American church, and that's when I realized, oh crap, this ain't it. This is not where it's at. And I guess, like, I was going to high school then. I realized that I didn't want to be in church anymore. And I wanted to know more about myself. This is back in 2006. I was graduating from high school then. I promised myself that I didn't want it. Even my own people that came with us as refugees were starting to adapt to this American society without sitting back and, you know what I mean? Like, you have to observe before you blend in with anywhere you go. You know what I mean? It's just that curiosity look. Are they like me? Do I have the same values as them, you know? Before I just into society and lose myself, you know?
Yeah, like since you brought up the refugee camp, can you talk about, some of the things that y'all had to go through when you was in the refugee camp?
It wasn't a refugee camp, but it was like an immigration office. So, which where adults are allowed. You have to be 18 in order to like I was a kid, so I didn't have to go through rigorous process. You know, my aunt and my mom did. But like I said, as I was growing up, I didn't get why they were so harsh on African Americans. They didn't even want us to play with African Americans. And then I was going to school. I'm being bullied by African Americans. I'm like, these are my people. I don't understand. You black like me, you know. Why are you bullying me, you know? And then my aunt, we started going to North Carolina A&T, and this is where she one day brought it up. Yeah, you know, as we were coming here, they and this is 2014, matter of fact, speaking of that, because we were supposed to go to this conference in DC for a science conference. She's like, yeah, you know, when we were leaving Egypt, they did an interview, and the interview had an orientation, and the orientation has a video that show all kind of race, and they said, and the last one was African Americans. They say they were the low of the low, that you shouldn't be hanging with them, lazy. And I'm like, really? You know, because, like, you know, I dated an African American. Y'all my blood. You get what I'm saying? I dated one for 9 years, and my aunt had an issue with that because of what she had. She was told, you know, but as she is learning and experiencing American society, she realized she was duped. You know, she realized that all that stuff was to put boundaries between Africans and African Americans, you know?
So that's major, because a lot of us hear that when people come to America, especially those from the continent, that they have to look at a video. And in that video, it basically tells them to stay away from African Americans, that we are no good, we thugs, we criminals, and that they shouldn't associate with us. And this is basically confirmation from you saying that your aunt actually told y'all that, she saw that video as well when she was leaving Egypt.
Well, let me tell you what brought this argument up, because we went to this conference in 2014. It was in February. I was still in North Carolina, and I remember going to DC. Me and her drove to DC, and I remember because it was like a 3 or 4 day conference, and it was like only for prospects, scientists, you know, like whether it's biomedical or any kind of researching, or, you know, being a hard, you know what I mean, anything in science. And one of the Nobel Prize winners was speaking, and he was just praising Bill Gates. Mind you, this costs $1,000 per person, so you know my people ain't gonna come in because they don't want to pay stuff like that. So, and I'm sitting and I'm seeing 99.9% not my people. Like 99.9%, bro. That's sad. And he's praising Bill Gates for vaccinating Africans. This is a Nobel Prize winner praising Bill Gates for vaccinating Africans when I already know what this man is all about. Mind you, this was, and I got up and I said, hell to the mother, because I just can't. It's not in me to sit back and watch somebody degrade my people, you know. Why it's only 1% of us, somebody got to speak up.
Wow.
And And so anyway, and so I stood up, and 4 months later, Ebola broke out. This is 2014. Ebola broke out in May. I mean, in June or May, end of May or beginning of June or middle of June of that year, 2014. And who has that? Bill Gates.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, so when are we going to realize that we being played on both sides? When are we going
Yes.
to realize science is being used as a weapon? Because if you look at it, we're not safe over here. With all the mercury being put, like the vaccine, the dental treatments, you know what I mean, from the brain to the heart, it's all being taken. The blood, like, it's ridiculous.
Okay, so I have a question to ask you. Because this professor, a professor from Egypt, who he been fighting America because they he has to be classified as white, but he's actually as dark as me. But since he's from Egypt, on the Census Bureau, they make him classify as a white man when he's actually a black man. And he has been fighting the United States government for like over 20 years right now, to be classified as black instead of white. So while I'm trying to get his name, I can't think of his name right now. Mustafa Hefney.
I know. I know who you're talking about exactly. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's this. It's always about Black people not getting their recognition. We're never gonna get our recognition until we stand up for ourselves. Like if you go on to like south of Egypt, which is the border of Sudan and Egypt, you'll find a little area called Aswan. It's a very rural area, but it's where all the Black Egyptians are. So if they make it out, it might be one or two. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
From their situations. And it's hard for Black people everywhere. I'm just gonna let you know, even in Sudan, like as you see, we might look all of us might look Black to the white person, but in reality, the Arabs still make themselves feel like they're better than us. So they still treat us like that in Sudan and in our own land. So
Yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up because I know a couple years ago when Egypt was having their so-called their civil war when the people was out in the streets and stuff, we was reading about how the Egyptian military was killing the actually dark Egyptians in Aswan, and they weren't reporting on that as much in the mainstream media. And also, I do know that like in the early, I think 50s or 60s, it was an Egyptian president that flooded a lot of that area. I think the Aswan Dam is the name.
I think his name is Anwar. Anwar. His name was Anwar. I think that's who it was, and I think as I could remember the histories, because as adults sit down, they reminisce about histories, and you know what I mean, and you sit beside them and you hear, Speaking of that, ain't that amazing? It's something that we have to teach our kids about what our struggles, our history, so it never repeat itself. Something like that. We shouldn't be. I hate to say this because I think as a Sudanese, right, or as an immigrant, when you move into a country and you don't know yourself, how could you not lose yourself? You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
How could you not? Like if I really did not investigate everything that I did and really put a lot of hours into myself to know, I don't think my mom would have ever told me the stuff that I know today.
Now, speaking
You
of
have
that,
to put in, so you have to put in your own work. It's up to everybody. You have to know who you are. Like I said, I have to confront my mom last week about things. So it's something that we should we need to let our elders give us our history. It's our right. It's our birthright.
now
So that
since you,
way, it's the,
I'm
yeah.
sorry to cut you off, but since you mentioned, you know, your mother and you know being taught your history. Now, earlier we was talking and you were saying that you was, you know, a part of the Dinka tribe, and I
Mhm.
was asking you what language family that was. So, could you, you know, tell the people a little bit about your tribe, the Dinka tribe, and you know, tell the people of like some of the words, like you was telling me about Pata and Maya and what it means. So, can you elaborate a little bit more about some of that stuff? You know,
Okay, so mata mean mama, which mean that it's maternal side. Pata mean baba, which is like paternal side. Um, there's also what's above so below, and that's it's thought, which is like, my grandmother's name was thought. Yimaye, which is like a river, like water, my mom's name. So things like that you name, like my culture name things based on what's in the environment, like archangel, like Archangel Michael, right?
uh-huh.
To us, it's just like, let's say if you have twins, right? If one of the twins is a boy, that's what literally that means. Like my sister name was Breach. They named her Alun, which means that she's Breach. So they don't name just based whatever the books. No, they go by what the universe is saying.
Yeah, that's interesting that you said that because I do understand that like in the Yoruba and the Akan, or especially the Yoruba, when children are born, they're born with an aspect of nature, and that's how usually you get your name according to what
I
aspect of nature that sent you, and like the children actually chooses their parent, meaning the aspect of nature, and that sends them here. And
yeah.
that's how, in a lot of the traditional African um, traditions or cultures, that's how they get named. Compared to over here in America, you know, we pick names for a reason, but I think we have lost that concept of, you know, allowing nature to help us pick the name. You know, so
Yeah.
that's interesting that you brought that up. And I know, so you said that in the Dinka, Pata is your maternal line,
No, Pata is your paternal.
your paternal line,
Mata is your maternal.
and Mata.
Like mom, mama.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about some of the pharaohs? You was talking about some of the pharaohs and you know, stuff dealing with the Dinka tribe a little bit earlier.
I just told you one. I said like my grandmother, what's above so is below thought. THOT.
Mm-hmm.
What's above is so is below. Like Haru. It actually mean Aru. It's not Haru, it's Aru.
Okay. So
Like Augmetatron, that's Matur, or what you call it, like I told you earlier, twin, which mean that how you say it in my language? Can't think of it right now, but I got you because I got it earlier. It's just like when you have so many languages and you have to translate, some of the things cannot be translatable, you know.
Yes, yes, yes. That's true
And I
indeed.
think right.
I'm listening. So I just found it interesting that you told me that you was from Sudan, and so my question I have questions though. So I I understand that a lot of people in Sudan are Muslims. They practice the Arabic faith. Now, do a lot of people still practice the traditional um, spiritual system, or a majority of them have they conformed to Christianity and Islam? Because I know that in Sudan that
I'm
you
I'm
know
I'm a, I'm I'm gonna cut it real quick. I'm gonna tell you this: crocodile doesn't change; it only adapts to its environment. Right? You don't lose it. A crocodile have been here for 150 million years, right?
hmm
It's still surviving.
so
That's
what you
deep right there. So
so
that just
what
tells you, like, you don't change. Just you go with the flow, but you already know what you are about.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is they kept some of their old customs, but they just integrated it into the new faith system, basically. Is that what you're
Oh
saying?
yeah, oh yeah. They will go back to their roots in a heartbeat. Better believe it.
Okay. Yeah, that's something that here in America that we, like that we call them Abrahamic faith systems.
Okay,
Um,
but
a lot of us are rejecting them. I mean, I ain't gonna say a lot of us, but it's some of us now that are starting to reject them, and we want to go to a more of a what we consider an African spiritual system or African culture. So, so I just wanted to bring that up because I do know that you read about in history how the church and how a lot of people in Sudan that they adopted Christianity,
yeah,
back in the day.
but you gotta remember this. You remember I told you earlier from the beginning that I was kind of battled to how when I go to church with my people, I can feel the spirit compared to going into other people's church, you know?
So explain that. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
I think it have to truly do with spirituality. If you're not a spiritual being, if you soulless person, there is nothing there to praise. You know, like I was telling my sister this last week. I said it's so sad, and this is probably why I don't go to church. It's the fact that they go in. You have these people that are not a believers, but they going in to get a dose of reality for the rest of the week, or to give them something to help them with their reality for the rest of the week. You know,
Uh-huh.
and and you know if I'm gonna get to to physics and science here, okay? You know, energy is constant, right? And
Mm-hmm.
if energy is constant, and I have this person that is so negative, and I'm praying with this person that's so negative, you think my prayers will be heard,
Mm.
or am I being tamed by this negative energy right here that I'm sitting beside or praying around? Subconsciously I will be that person that I'm looking at. I'm saying, I hate that energy that's around me, you know?
Yeah.
Because if I'm coming every week and I'm praying with you, and you really not truly a spiritual being, you know, and it took me back to my culture that, the reason why they value women's and why men have to pay dowries for women's, it's not because you're buying her. but a woman can can bring things from the 5D. Men's are supposed to be on the 3D level. Women's do function on both 3D and 5D. You know, she'll bring stuff from the 5D. You know, like I say, how they translated happy wife, happy life.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, right there.
So, in your culture, everything goes through the paternal line.
I I don't really. It is a paternal, but I think it also like let's say, like I told you earlier, let's say if a man abuse and they keep on telling him, look, this is not how we want you to treat our daughter, right? And if he doesn't want to listen and that woman is just like fed up and she want to leave and y'all have kids, what's going to happen to that dowry, right? He
Mm-hmm.
can't take that dowry because now he have the kids, so he has to take the loss.
Okay. So,
But the kids are still his. He can keep
mm-hmm.
the kids, or the kids can go with her.
Yeah, that's one thing about the
Like the kids are yours. As a man, like you you they're yours. Like, but if you just a man, like you had to go and get another wife quick or something, right? Because who's gonna take care of the kids like that? I mean, like, because the life over there, it's the same, but a little different in a way too.
okay, because
And it's
like in
not.
America, everything is off the father's line. They try to everything, and I think that's Western society, where it's based off the father instead of the
Yeah.
mother. I actually think it should run through the mother. By all means necessary, it should run through the mother. So, with that being said, and you brought up, what about polygamy? Is polygamy something that is practiced um, from your culture in the
And
Dinka tribe or in Sudan? Is that something that's looked at
if you can, that they
negatively?
okay. So let me. I'm gonna give you this. So I guess, like, during time when I guess, like, it was like a lot of during colonization and conquering and all that. If a family is losing so many people, they would, like, let's say, like, for me, I have brothers. I have three brothers and three sisters, but I lost two brothers, right? My brothers will have to marry the first two women they married. My two older brothers, the first two women they married, they have to give those kids to their brothers that are dead. This is how you keep the family, I guess, alive. That's their mentality. If they figure out, like, let's say, there is cousins, right? Like distant cousins, they would sacrifice. Like I said, like, even meat is not something that you're supposed to eat all the time. Meat is something that's for sacrificial. They will have to sacrifice to let the ancestors know, yeah, this is messed up, but this is what we need to do right now. Okay, like, we asking for forgiveness before we even do this thing that we're about to do. I know it's wrong.
Okay. So,
And it go back to what I was saying even earlier with energy. Forgiveness too. Forgiveness is something that have to be constant.
uh-huh. Okay, so that was interesting though that you said that and I think I want you to repeat that again to the audience as far as when you said what the two brothers would have to marry just to keep the family alive. Repeat that again. So I
Um,
think that,
I think where the polygamy come in, and if you can afford it, is when you have siblings that have passed when they're younger and they don't have no kids. So if you want to keep the lineage, then you have to marry two wives to keep the family lineage. My I'm gonna give you an example. My dad and my uncle, it's just general. I'm not going deep. All right. So my dad had kids. My uncle didn't. My dad he manifested what he wanted and made sure that it happened. And now his generations is growing. You get what I'm saying? My
Uh-huh.
uncle don't. So in order for my brothers and whatnot, they have to keep that family lineage. You know what I mean? Because a woman is supposed to be going to her family. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
To her, when she get married.
Okay, so
But
no,
but you
that
gotta
makes
remember though.
sense.
But you gotta remember though. It's like if it's not just a boy that have to have kids. Also,
You gotta mean what you say and say what you mean. Yeah. You
Hey,
can't.
peace, guy, Eric. Mute your mic real fast. Let me let this queen finish.
um al- also, like let's say if I had a sister, I would have to marry a wife of my sister that had passed. It's my obligation to do that, and I will do it through my brothers. Not me.
Okay, so
And
basically, what
my brothers will have to marry a wife for me.
you're saying is that with the polygamy, it was done for what's best for
The lineage,
the lineage, to keep the lineage going on. So
right?
it
Right.
wasn't just something that, well, I
Oh
want
no, no, no,
multiple
no, no.
wives.
And like I said, and like I told you, when they do it as sacrificial, they fast, they pray, and when that animal doesn't do what they ask, oh, it ain't happening. They're not sacrificing that animal because that means the ancestors haven't heard it. What's the point of sacrificing something that haven't been heard?
Okay, so elaborate on that, because a lot of people never heard of tribes and people from different parts of the world actually doing sacrificing and understand it. I understand it because just quick story, I have been a part of someone who done a ritual, and with the ritual it was certain things that the chicken's supposed to do when you cut the head off, when you wring the head. There's a certain thing that the chicken's supposed to do. And and when it was done, the chicken done what it was supposed to have done.
Yep,
If you know what I'm
yep,
talking about, you'll know the certain way the chicken's supposed to
right,
position their body. And
right.
the chicken actually done what it was supposed to have done, position his body in the
Well,
area.
actually,
With,
before you even get to that point, you have to make sure is this animal, like example, like let's say I want that animal to be first, that to let me know, oh, there's a signal. You know what I mean? So when you fast and you ask that whatever that you asking to come to fruition, and if it doesn't, that means that it's a no. It's a no. It's a no go.
Okay, so that's good to know. So, that's good to know because you never hear the opposite side of, doing some of them ceremonies. That, like, if it don't go the way, if the animal don't act a certain way, that means you don't supposed to do it. So that's good. So that's a sense of balance that's
Oh
always
yeah.
needed.
Oh,
Now,
balance. You always have to have balance because why would you want to sacrifice? Why would you want to take a life? That's a life. That's a being, right?
hmm
And you didn't. And no, you don't.
okay, so family, we got my partner Eric, the God, he done joined the show. Eric, what we have a sister. Her name is Look. She's from Sudan, part of the Dinka tribe, but she's staying in America now. So I had her up here on the show. They're just asking us some questions pertaining to her tribe and her upbringing, and get an inside look into Sudan and Antoine and some of the I guess the split, between Egypt and the dark Egyptians, because a lot of people see these pale Egyptians and feel like that's the real Egyptians. So, just good to have a sister up here, someone from the era, from the culture to to break this thing and give us a inside perspective of it. So with that being said, you can reach your mic, say hi to the queen and ask any questions or just, join the conversation, bro.
Peace, Queen. I think this will be very interesting because, I'm into the ancient Egyptians. But I'm going to just let y'all finish the conversation because, I'm just coming in.
Well, thank you.
Peace.
Peace. Thank you. Yes, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Well, I guess she can tell you about Ptah. I mean, she already mentioned it earlier, but I know he would love to hear this. But he into Kimmy like me, so I know he would love to hear about
right. It's hard to. All that is Ptah. It's like you have to. It's like your paternal lineage. Your paternal lineage and your maternal lineage is what makes you, right? Right? So when you have an issue, who are you going to call on? Your maternal and your paternal lineage. Point blank, period. Those are your gods. Right? The sun is the man. The moon is the woman. That's why there's day and night. It's so simple. They try to, as I'm looking at and that's one of the things I was talking about earlier. I would read my language and I'm like, Mom, like I don't understand how I can read my language and this is English. And she's like, yeah, like she's looking at me like I'm dumb, like she's gonna give me an explanation. But I knew exactly what I was talking about. Like even the language, like if you look at the way it's written.
Yeah, I just know that the Dinka tribe in their language is an ancient language. So I wish that we had time and I had, asked you earlier to, to break down some words in your language and compare it to Egypt so we can understand, how the Egyptians or because I hold up, isn't it a script in Sudan that we don't know about yet? Didn't the Sudanese had a pharaonic script similar to the Medunetta, and it ain't really been translated or transcribed yet to where we understand it. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, I am, but there's some things we gotta be sensitive about, We deal with You gotta catch me slipping. No.
Well, no. I don't want you to I don't want like.
But just I'm giving y'all the general so y'all can understand. Like it's like some of the BS that we have been taught. Like even like good morning. What am I mourning for every morning? What am I mourning for? If God has raised me up from the bed, why am I mourning? Or am I just giving out my energy to make everybody feel better? You know what I mean? I'm not talking about earlier about energy. So if I'm passing that kind of energy towards you, what kind of a day are you gonna have? You already starting your day all messed up. Like I was saying, like I just feel like we are so backwards. Society is so backwards. Sometimes I stand still. I'm like, oh my God, do I even want to be in this world? Like it's so messed up. We are so brainwashed. we think we are so like in the 20th century or 21st, whatever, but in reality, we are so backward.
Yeah. Eric, you want to ask us something and elaborate, bro?
Well, I was just listening to what you were saying, and I do understand about that morning, and me personally, I don't know where your knowledge goes with that, but I know that the English language is kind of messed up, so we're gonna see things kind of different, because we live in a European, what I'm saying, way of perspective. So by saying morning, good morning, what I'm saying, just like you said, we are brainwashed because we're not even speaking our original language.
Right.
So I definitely do understand that.
But even they themselves don't even understand. Because if you truly, do you get what I'm saying? Like, if you know what you are saying, would you want to say that to somebody?
No, not really. Because see, I understand, what I'm saying, why the people is in the position that they're in now. But then there's a lot of people that don't understand because you got years and years of history that went on, and they just gonna adapt to it. And they don't understand that they're adapting to something that's not even ours. So, you really can't blame them for them being in the position that they're in, because it been years and years of that been passed down instead of in their own ancient history. So eventually they're going to be brainwashed. And it's hard to really get them to understand that, that this is not our way of life, because there's been a lot of things that was taken from us and just been implanted in us. So you have no other choice to believe, what I'm saying, what was actually taught to you.
Right. You know, I um I went to a Catholic school where I live, and it was last year. We had a conference about it's called Pope Francis Mercy in the Suffering World, and one of the women that came was from the Vatican, and and she was the secretary for women. And as I was speaking to her, and I'm listening to her presentation, she said she's been in Sudan for the last 6 years. What the heck are you doing in a country where you say they are so poor and so backward that you've been there for 6 years? From the Vatican. And I'm sitting and they trying to get me to answer the question, and I'm looking at them because I'm trying to get what the heck are they talking about, and they talking about rituals and about Catholic Church, about abuse. Okay, so everybody is traumatized, but it's not up to Black people to heal everybody. Y'all already traumatized us. Let us heal ourselves. Like I'm not about to come into your worship place and give you the secret to the sauce. No, it doesn't work that way. And she was like, "Oh my God, I didn't," and and I have a little bit of recording on my timeline on my Facebook, but you can look at it, Stuart. But it's just like, so you want to heal yourself, but you don't want to heal us. You want your problems gone that you created, because where is the abuse coming from except from the trauma, right? Everybody's so traumatized. Like I as I go from like hospitals to church to you name it, abuse is not It's nowhere not to be found. It's everywhere. It's in assisted living. It's in the hospitals. It's in the church. It's in schools. Like, where are you gonna go without no abuse, or But it's not up to Black people to heal everybody now. It's not. It's up for us to heal ourselves and keep it moving.
Yeah, see, you're right, because the whole purpose of them being there is they vultures. So like you said, the lady there for 6 years, all she's doing is stealing our energy.
Collecting the knowledge, and talking about rituals, talking.
Yeah.
She gonna, and I'm like, you come in for missionary work, or you come in just to collect information? And be like, oh, we found this out. No, you did not find out. You went in, and these people told you. You come as a hero and only just to take the information.
Yeah, that's all they're doing. They just culture vultures because
and giving you the crumbs for what they need.
Yeah, because they don't have their own culture, so they have to get our culture. And what's interesting is the things that we used to do.
But you gotta understand. Remember, I told you earlier, when you are a soulless person, you definitely are a vampire. They will suck the life out of you. That's what vampires do. And my people are this small now, from being a Kush empire to this small. I just wish, we hear.
Y'all go ahead. I'm negotiating.
Okay.
My boss is.
I just wish like people will understand that the time on this earth is not that much anymore, and it's time for us to wake up. I understand that we are sleeping, everybody have their timing to when their third eye open, but it's more than just the third eye. So while you waiting for that third eye to open, why can you do something, do something about something?
Well, you know something, there's a lot of people that don't have no understanding about their third eye. So a lot of people walking around with their third eye still closed. Their two eyes might be open, but the third eye is very closed. And by being closed like that, you're going to stay into a thing called being brainwashed.
It goes to that the three holy trinity, right? Mind, soul, and heart, right? Or mind, heart, and soul, right? If you're not balanced, what makes you think you can do anything? If you're not able to keep a woman, what makes you think you're able to rule a country, or to rule anybody, or to help anybody? It's simple as that. And I have seen that this, including my own blood brothers, can't keep a woman. Can't. It's sad to me. Like, we are so lost. Like, and it go back to what I was saying earlier, that when you rush yourself into society that you don't understand, and you're all in without observing, you will lose yourself.
Is there anything that's different from ancient Kemet and the place that you're at?
No, definitely. Come on. I'm in America. Yeah, it's gonna be different.
I don't think Eric know that you was in. He don't know you in America right now.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, she's in America now. She's been here majority of her life, Eric. But she just know the culture and the ways of her people. But yeah, but what my whole thing is, when we talk about the third eye and the culture vultures and everything, and in the condition that we're in right now. You know, what we're doing, the fact that we're having this conversation, the fact that technology is allowing us to get somebody up here that is from Sudan, that is part of the Dinka tribe, that knows some of the traditional teachings, to able to put this out to the world and let some of the other people know. You get what I'm saying? Because we all read books. I got books for days. You know what I'm saying? But it's different when it's somebody that actually has been passed down word to mouth about certain things. So it's a different feel to it. So it's a different understanding to it. So the fact that we are lost, just as many of us lost, is a lot of us trying to find our way. So all we have to do is what we're continuing to do, is put this information out there, and put people in front of people who can give them some type of information. But also at the end of the day, no matter how much information somebody put in front of you, is up to that individual to interpret the information, analyze the information, and apply that information to their said self. Because we are all individuals one by one. We all have the creator inside of us. So we all have our own understanding at the end of the day. We all gonna take a different understanding from something. I may get an understanding for something that's different than yours, but just because we have different understandings don't mean mine or yours is right or wrong. It just means that we're understanding it our own way, and that's what makes life unique. And that's what makes our journey unique, is that we all get to make our own footsteps in the sand. We all get to make our own path. You get what I'm saying? So I understand what y'all talking about as far as we lost. Yes, we are, but at the same time, when you lost, what happened? You get found.
Right.
You get found. Sometimes you may wander for a while, but eventually you get found. So hopefully, we're going about the way of finding our people and trying to put them in situations, if they want to listen, if they want to research, if they want to reach out to different people, to help them find themselves.
But it go back to what I was talking about earlier. Being that I'm intuitive, um, but what I've seen, like, and I had to confirm this with my mom. I told her, because I told you earlier about my father, being dead, being murdered when I was 2. So I saw him being. It's like I'm communicating with him, and I'm seeing that he's telling me that we are like a sleeping giant, right? And we have our own timing on when we can, wake up, which is the third eye, right? So it's not up to the person that's living right now. It's up to the ones that are dead, right? To say when I'm able to wake up, to be reincarnated. So I'm not going to beat anybody that's living here that is blind. You get what I'm saying? It's not their fault. We all have time. We all have time. Our times are different.
So you don't think it's up to that individual to awaken themselves?
Depending on their situation in life, some people are lucky not to go through anything. Some people are, and that pain will give you whatever that there's blessing in pain, right? There's blessing in everything.
Well, I mean, I was a religious person at one point in time in my life, and I started doing some real serious researching on things. And from them researching, I really actually changed my whole life around, because I started seeing things different. I started noticing things different. So, I mean, I feel myself, I brung myself to awakening, not just that the ancestors. I know the ancestors, you know, protect us and guide us. You know what I'm saying? Because they all around us at all times. But I felt that I brought myself to be awakening because of the things that I've seen and the things that I read.
Yes, that part too. That part can do that. But like I said, it's if you young and you able to heal and do all kind of things, it means that you were blessed before inside your mom wound, or um I didn't want to speak about myself, but I'm gonna give you a little brief. um I have went through so much because, like I told you earlier, remember I said crocodile adapted environment they in. I remember the food. The food was what kind of got me here in America. Like I couldn't for a while. The smell, everything. I was sick, like in and out of hospital because my body was just reject. Even till now, like some days I'm still like. And then my nephews and nieces were born here, and they started having allergic reaction to like peanut butter. I'm having allergic reaction to grass, dust, stuff that I never had before. So a lot of things can bring you to the third eye. You know what I mean? The route to the third eye is all different from person to person. Um, but we have to be careful of what we eat. What I think one of the things that I realized, because I I went to, like I said, I went to public school, I went to a private school, and I seen the difference in how public school is with private school. Private schools, you on yourself. Um, there's no mingling like that. So you focus. You're not mixing with a lot of energies. Public schools, kids are just it's you never know. Remember I talked about energy earlier. Energy is so important. When you're around some, this is why Islam don't shake hands, because
Well,
they don't want that person energy.
the public school and the private school is set up. That's deliberately set up like
I
that.
know it's set up deliberately.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
understand it, but I'm just giving the you know what I mean, like, similarities and advantages and disadvantages.
yeah. But as far as energy, you're right. Because
That's what I'm
energy is very important. And
and that's why you see a lot of kids that are thriving in private schools because of that. You know what I mean? They try not to interact physically.
yeah, because the energy is very important, and we do transfer energy. And
Yeah,
energy, what I'm saying, is never lost. It just be transferred, and
right. It's
and
constant. Yep, yep.
positive and negative energy. Like
Right.
I'm the type of person, like, I can feel negative energy. Like if I walk up in a room or if I'm having a conversation with you, I can feel if you shooting me negative energy or not. I'm at that point where I'm in tune with myself that I can feel negative energy, and I usually get away from it because negative energy will jump on you. Because
It
people
drain you.
sometimes people will put their negative energy on you. You can be feeling good and just walk by somebody and they put that negative
But
energy on you, and they done transferred their negative energy to you, and now you feeling bad and negative for no reason. So I agree, but I'm not to the point wherein I say shaking hands, because I believe that I control. See, I'm one of the people that
well,
believe.
see,
I'm one of the.
I'm about to get to that right now. You can't control. You There is some people that are slick, and you will never know that. Okay, there
Yeah,
are some people that I don't know what level you are on, but when if you go from page to say you name it to like the king or queen, you know what I mean? And or magician, right? So magician is the last, right?
Yeah.
If you are a page and you have somebody that's a magician, how are you going to know that?
Yeah, that's a good
Except
question.
except that you could feel it, but you just
Yeah.
don't know how.
Only thing I was gonna say though is I'm that type of person that I believe that I have a lot of control, especially over me and myself. So throw it in the trash, baby. So when it comes to negative energy, like I control it. Like just like headaches, I don't have headaches. The reason why I
Yeah,
don't have headaches because I don't allow myself to have a headache. I know that
yeah.
sounds
So you stay
I,
high vibration.
yeah, I know that sounds crazy to the layman folks, but I can't remember the last time I had a headache. And that's because I don't allow myself. If I feel like something is coming, I think about something else. That's just like pain. Most people, if you feel pain in one area, if you think about something else, sometimes you can block the pain out. It's just a matter of using your mind. So that's the same with energy with me, the way I personally I conduct myself. Like I can be around somebody with negative energy, but I don't want to be around that negative energy because that negative energy is just not me no more. I'm on a positive vibration. So by me radiating positive, I stay away from negative things. But I don't believe that just because I shake your hand, because listen, I done had people that wouldn't shake my hand. I done had pastors that
But
me.
but but but, but listen to this though. Listen to why I said that it's not about because let's say I shake your hand and I come wipe it off, right? And if I want to hurt you, I got you then right there.
No, because I got some juju stuff for you. And you ain't just coming shaking my.
No, you listen.
Listen.
You are listen. That's that's the sad. See,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
now I've been there, done that, bro. I know exactly what you're saying, and I'm healing because of the mentality that you have. Because I thought there's no way, nah, but this lady was a magician, and she was Jamaican, and that's the sad part. We black people hurt ourselves. Like, why would you want to hurt another black person? She like used me to do her own dirt. And actually, the sad part is I was protected. But guess what? Guess what she did though? She used another person to come and attack me, an innocent person. So that's why I said you might be protected, but the other person ain't protected. You gotta remember that part.
Okay.
Just because you are don't mean that the other person is.
Okay. Yeah. Y'all. Eric, you want to chime in? Because what I'm gonna do is, around in about 2 minutes, I'm gonna cut it short. My boss done told me it's time to get off.
I gotta go too.
So in 2 minutes, we're gonna shut it down. What I would like, Miss Aluk, is for you to come back up here again so we can talk to you some more. But I would like, the next time we can get a little more in depth about the Dinka tribe, because this is something that we need to know about some of the traditional tribes. Because
Right, because it's not just only Dinka. There's Mahdi, which is on the it's all the way south. It's also in East it's in West Africa. They do have Madingos, right?
Uh-huh.
So the Dugan tribe are part of Dinka.
Yeah,
They were
so
part of Dinka before.
we would love for you to.
Part of you know what I mean. So it's more to it. Like we everywhere.
Yeah, we would love for you to come back and elaborate a little bit more, and especially I want to know some of that connection with the ancient pharaonic period. Before Narmer, we call them Narmer, unified Upper and Lower Kemet, but we know that they had dynasties before Narmer united them. So we know that in Sudan or ancient Nubia, there was kingdoms on Kush and so I would love to get into some of that history, so you can let us know your perspective and your teachings on it. So with that being said though, I'm gonna let Eric, I'm gonna let you close out, say what you want to say to the family, give your information. Then I'm gonna let you end the show, get you in and let people know where they can find you, where they can follow you on Facebook, whatever. We'll go from there. Mute your mic, bro.
Yeah. I kind of got lost real quick there. You was wanting me to say what on what?
I was just saying, man, let people know where they can find you, where they can follow you. You know what I'm saying, your information, you know what I'm saying, where they can get in touch with you, man, where they can get some of that Carabao gold. You know what I'm saying? Let them know how they can get in contact with you, man, and keep in touch with you on social media, your sites, whatever, your pages, your groups you own. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook as Rains Eric, and I'm into this company called Carrot Bars. We into helping people build wealth for themselves, live financially free. If you want to be rich yourself, it depends on how hard you push into it. But I'm right there on Facebook, and you can get in contact with me on Facebook, and from there, I can kind of help you and guide you through the building wealth and everything. Information, you can contact me, what I'm saying, by my phone. That's 1-347-346-2080. And to go see anything about the Carrot Bars information, you can go to www.therealmoney.info, and you could check out some videos, and it would explain to you about, the Carrot Bars and how the Carrot Bars company works. So, and yeah, else I do get into my ancient people and talk a lot about Kemet. So, if y'all want to learn anything about Kemet, y'all can follow me on that. And I have my group pages. It's Mayak Hotep, Mayak Hotep 1, and the Black Woman is God, and the Black Woman is God 2. So you can get into any of them groups, and bring you all the information I can bring you about Kemet.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, mine is simple. It's Salem, Sudan on Facebook. Salem as in Salem Witch Trial, and then Sudan, Sudan. If you can find me through my name, you can use MAWUD 2003 at yahoo.com. And that's how you can find me on Facebook. MAWUD 2003 at yahoo.com. It was a blessing talking and spending time and spreading some knowledge and also getting knowledge. I want to thank my brothers because it's wonderful to know that it's a lot of our brothers that are awake. My heart is so broken because I want my brothers to wake up, because the time is so relevant right now. We are in time where we need to wake up. Our ancestors returned 2019, right? What are we waiting on? The ones that are awake anyway. One of the things that I wanted to add, spiritual store. Get some holy water or calming oil. So when you get out of the house, you have that. You don't have to worry about transferring somebody energy, and you calm. So even if you have somebody that have negative energy, you'll be able to be calm. Also use crystals for protection. Do monthly ritual. It's important. Whether it's just if you can't afford it, even just candles, go on YouTube, look up protection rituals, every month, full moon, new moon. All right, guys, that's it for me. Again, I'm a look.
All right, and I thank y'all for joining the show with me tonight. And this show will be airing tomorrow on NCRBGZ Productions on YouTube. That's the name of the YouTube page. NCR. Yeah, he got his shirt. NCRBGZ Productions on YouTube. Y'all can go to that page tomorrow. This show will be airing, and I'll put it out there. Also, y'all know who I am, Stuart Fields. You can find me on Facebook. I got a Facebook group called Enough is Enough. Enough is Enough. As simple as that. You can look it up. That's the group. I got a couple business pages on Facebook on Knowing the Hands. Actually, that's how I met Miss Sudan. She had commented on one of my posts about the African generals. And she commented it up there. And actually, I saw her comment and I reached out to her. So actually, that's how I met her. Actually, she commented on one of my posts on Anointed Hands, one of my business pages. And that's how I met the sister and reached out to her. And but like I always say, this is a community program. This is a community show. We trying to invite anybody up here to come talk. We don't nobody know it all. We all learning for each other. We all building with one another. And we just slowly trying to wake our people up. And I thank y'all and I appreciate y'all for taking y'all time out for joining us and looking at this show. Make sure you thumb up the video. If you look at it, make sure you thumb it up. And also make sure that you like the page and subscribe. And with that being said, I just want to say what the Queen was just telling y'all. I don't know if you have an altar in your house or not, but it's good to have an altar. I'm not afraid to tell you I have an altar. I'm not afraid to tell you, and I don't see anything wrong with it at all. There's nothing wrong with calling on your ancestors for some help. We all do it anyway. Believe it or not, you do it and you don't even know it. But
Right.
it's okay to embrace that part of our culture, and that's part of the deprogramming that we must do. We must get ourselves back to being balanced. We must get back to ourselves of understanding life, and just get back to balance. So I know I probably got everybody ready to talk some more, but I gotta get off the phone. We gotta shut it down because my boss, my little daughter, she want my attention, so she gonna get it. So I appreciate y'all, and peace and Black Power. And I look forward to checking with y'all again. Peace.